Number 10, Miami played number 2, Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. And Miami was able to beat Ohio State 24-10. And I only have one word for this game: out physical. I'll say it again: out physical. Miami completely dominated Ohio State up front. The two defensive ends for Miami, Ruben Bain and Alkeem Mesidor. Alkeem Mesidor had 2 sacks. Ruben Bain had 1 sack. But they put eons of pressure on Ohio State quarterback Julian Sand all game. I'm going to be completely honest. This took me as a surprise. I thought that, especially because of how Ohio State played in the Big Ten Championship and lost to Indiana by a field goal, only put up 10 points, I thought that they would be eager to get back on that field and the offense was going to be explosive and show what they had shown the world all regular season. But Miami was, up to the task, especially that front 7 on defense. Miami's defensive line coach, Jason Taylor, Hall of Famer, has those guys humming. And Miami, I felt like, did a really good job of kind of solidifying themselves as a defensive team in that first round versus Texas A&M, when they held Texas A&M to no touchdowns, and they ended up winning 10-3. But I just really, I got to be honest, I did not see them performing how they did versus Ohio State. Veteran quarterback Carson Beck went 19 for 26, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. I thought that Carson Beck played very kind of, relaxed. He moved the chains. He didn't do too much, right? But he didn't do too little either. He was a kind of perfect game manager and did enough to move the chains. He had some really key completions in the second half to move the chains and to keep the lead over Ohio State, right? On the other side, Ohio State quarterback Julian Sand went 22 for 35, 287 yards, 1 touchdown, but did throw 2 interceptions. Wide receiver Jeremiah Smith had 7 catches for 157 yards and 1 touchdown. That was pretty much it for the offense. No other. Carnell Tate, I think, had 3 catches for 37 yards, no touchdowns. And also on defense, Ohio State had no sacks. They didn't put any type of pressure on Carson Beck, which honestly, from Ohio State's defense, we really didn't see that. You have your Arvo Reeses of the world and other linebackers, and they have a really good defensive end who has been putting pressure, on all the teams they've played. But versus Miami, they really didn't do much. Miami ended up having 5 sacks total for a total of negative 42 yards. Again, they held Ohio State to only 14 points. I believe Ohio State had never been held to 14 points in their entire regular season, except for the Big Ten Championship when they only scored 10 versus Indiana. So kind of like I alluded to earlier, I really thought that Ohio State would come out trying to jump on Miami's ass to play better than they did in the Big Ten Championship, but they didn't. Miami was up for